Tech Leader. So today I'm going to be showing you how to install the auto tuning bot. It's basically just a simple installer, and you install just like anything else, but I figured I'd just go over it anyway, and I'll explain a little something extra to it. So you'll be getting this version 1.03 as of right now. Just double click on it, hit the next button, accept the whatever license agreement, and just install on defaults. Alright, so once it's done, just go ahead and hit OK, and then you'll be able to see the FOI Mad Hatter Auto Tuner right there. Alright, so here's the bot. Now once you're here, just go ahead and navigate to whatever your stuff is, and hit enter. And then you want to log right into your server. All it is just a browser, exactly how your Chrome browser is. And just log right in. Alright, so looking at this is where the you can enter your stuff and monitor the variables as they change over time. What you want to do right off the bat is just enter your autofuel right there. And then this is what I was talking about earlier about the different settings, where you do moving average only, settings only, which is the Mad Hatter settings, like the RSI bands, the Bollinger bands, and MACD. The period is the backtesting period, where it's going to go from 2 weeks to 1 week to 5 weeks, or depending on where your settings is. If you had it up to 6 hours, it'll try to push it down to 2 hours. If you had it 2 weeks, it'll try to still push it down to 2 hours. But as it's doing it, it's going to improve the 2 weeks as best as it can before, you know, if there's no more change, then it'll go to 1 week, and it'll improve that as best as it can, take those settings and then push it down to 5 days, find the best settings for 5 days, push it on 2 days, and so on until it gets better and better and progresses further and further down. So as far as I know, it could probably get stuck around day 1 to 6 hours maybe, or maybe in day 2. I don't actually have something to save the data. I think I might have saved it, but I'm not sure if it's there. But if anything, it should just leave you where you are. If it does crash, you might be able to go over here and write down some of the numbers before you close the program out. Okay. So this would probably where I'll see might crash it, because it does take a little while to push it all the way through, and it does do a lot more loops. Okay, so let's go ahead and set up a thing from scratch, custom bot, and I'm going to quickly navigate and find a coin. I'm gonna do that. So this is like, I haven't tested yet, so we'll see what happens. I'm gonna do it from scratch. Verge 80i6, I have GTO 88. Then I don't think I have iOS T, so let's do that. Yeah, iOS T. So let's go ahead and do iOS T token. You want to maximize this. Select my Binance, and if you already have any existing Mad Hatter bots, I'd probably just turn it off and auto tune it. I'm also going to be spreading a spreadsheet for the entire team to or private group to help with populating numbers, so that we all can kind of contribute together and not have to redo the same work. You know, I think I already have this. Let's try another one real quick. SNM. Let's do that. I don't know. Let's see. GBT. I don't think I have GBT. Yeah, let's go with GBT. Alright, add the bot. Alright, so just like I said before about the golf course thingy, you're gonna have to, do a driver, make sure it lands in the green of some sort. So we'll have to do a little bit of manipulation. What price are we at? 27 cents. So if I want to do 1, 2, 3, I could do 1,000. That's 2,500. So about 500. Trade amount. 5,000 maybe. No, 500. 1, 2. Let's go 500 for now. We can change that later. Save. And you can actually start from this screen if you like, but I'm gonna go ahead and go to full screen real quick. Do what I normally do with the RSI bands, just make sure it touches a little bit. Lower that to 70. Bring that up to about 35. And maybe 30 is good enough. Alright, so it just barely touches the top and bottom of the route. Maybe I could do a little more, but okay. And I'm gonna go with my defaults here. I don't have anything to test this, but I would probably do this at the end of when everything's all done. And my minimum price to sell, I'm gonna guess this time. So it looks like it's probably moving only 0.03. What's that? 10%. I don't know. I don't say 10%, but maybe I'll just go with the 5% for now. Alright. And I think I had a trade amount that I was supposed to update that. Yeah, I did update. Okay, good. Alright, so now once that's done, let's go ahead and go back over to where I've broken down MA settings, and then you can then put these together. The period has to happen with the settings at the same, because as you back test from 2 weeks, you're gonna have to mess with the settings. 1 week, mess with the settings. Okay, so in a sense this is all separate, but this is kind of grouped together with the period and settings. Then you could just do MA and settings only. And then here's where you add them all up. The moving average, once you figure out the best ROI for that, then you do the settings for each of the for the best moving average, and then you go to the period, and then that kind of goes back to this period settings deal again. So it will have to redo the period settings again, and the full is one I would at least use. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and do my start at 2 weeks. Let's do a back test, just make sure it's in the green. 2 weeks. Alright, so I started off back testing 19.5. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna, for the sake of it all, show you so I could talk it through, but then you can then take shortcuts by doing this later on, which takes a little longer to run. So this will be shorter, and I'll show you what it does. It's gonna go ahead and set the moving average type from weighted moving average, which is the very bottom of that list, and move it all the way up. So you can see over here on the status that it's gonna start with the moving average, weighted moving average type, I believe. Unless that's a bug. Tima. Maybe it did already run it. Maybe it was fast one. It just didn't update. I'm not sure. So if you see any bug reports that's not showing up, let me know. But it should show that it's running here. So there's limits. Okay, I think yeah, there's probably a little bug there. That's supposed to be WMA, but it pulled limit instead. But it got a 19.8, 17.6, and this is the ROI. So you kind of go down the list of the settings from 0.1 here. You'll see 0.1. You'll see 5 for the sell, 0 for stop loss, 20 for the Bollinger Band length, dub up, dub down, deviation, MACD, whatever that setting is. Or actually, that's the RSI length. RSI buy, RSI sell, MACD 12, or slow, fast, and whatever, and signal. And then you'll see here that's the moving average type, which this should be WMA, but it pulled the wrong number, which is the bug. And then you have the gains, the fee, and the profit, and then the ROI is 19.82. So the very last number is the ROI. So you can look at it through, and based on all of it, sweeping through all the moving average types already, we can then briefly see that the best one is 23 EMA, or actually KMA, comma, at 28.841%. So it's going to go ahead and find the very best one and rerun it so that you don't have to do it again. So if we go back to settings, it's already be set to cabinet. That's the best one. And now, once we find the best one, then we will then do the settings. It'll then change this negative and positive 10% and test it and run it through again. So we're going to do that right now by setting to settings and start. And so it's going to do 10%. If you wanted to make anything different, make these 5% instead of 10% or 1%, whatever it is, you could then change it manually. But when you do, just make sure you hit the save and update perturbation so that the numbers are changed. Okay. Alright, so now it's going to try to improve on the 28.417%. This is the best one right now at the current ROI. It's going to do a positive and negative perturbation and get those numbers. But as it gets better, like right now it just got 513, which is better. It then updates everything else and carries on the settings. So at 0.09 buy helped. And this is where we're independent variables. So this is the variable that we're working on right now, which is the minimum to sell. And so these indices help you. Here, one period mini sell. If it goes to variable 2, and now it's working on stop loss. So now the stop loss is 0.1. Goes to independent variable 3, then it'll go 3. When there's no improvement for 13, when it comes up to 13, which is all the variables, then that means it changed everything, even the original one, and pushed it farther, and there was still no change. Then it kicks it out of the loop, and it's completely done. Okay. So now it's slowly improving it little by little throughout the time. I'm going to go ahead and pause this. It's probably going to take maybe, I'm going to guess 10 minutes, 20 minutes or so to get through get through the entire thing. If you want to enjoy watching this, then go for it. I'm going to go ahead and see if there's anything else I can talk about while this is there. Alright, so once this is done and it pushes it all the way to the end, you might get somewhere in the neighborhood of 30%-ish for your, wow, that's a pretty good gain, 30, really? 3.6 ETH? Wow. Interesting. And it's at, oh, maybe I'm looking at it wrong. Let me look at the price of this thing. Oh, GBT. I was like, how much is this thing? Alright, so it's priced at $25, and I have 500 of these guys, so at 500, that's 13 ETH. So there you go, guys. So 13 ETH to make 3 ETH. You know, I guess that's good if the trade range is within reason. We can all do well on this. Alright, so as this is going, ideally, you know how as it pushes forward, it's gonna get worse and worse, or it's gonna get outdated. And of course, the back test does not reflect future profits because the market could just change drastically over time and could not reflect the settings anymore. But it's still better than back testing a loss and then doing a live run with a loss back test. So it's a step forward or a step better to do our due diligence on it. Okay. Alright, so you see how right here no improvement counter is at 7, so that means it is on variable 10. Right here it's changing the MACD fast, and it's still not improving it. Now if it does improve it, then it resets the no improvement counter, and it's going to cycle through the whole thing again, until it gets back to MACD fast again. If it still hasn't changed, then the counter would have been up to 13. Then it kicks it out, and then 28.35 would be the best it can do. Okay, and then we can run the other test of pushing it, um, the time range from 2 weeks down to as far as we can to 2 hours possibly. So if we can get a 2-hour range of say 5%, heck, like 24-hour period, you could do 5% every. Assuming that if we actually get to trade, and get 5% every 2 hours, which is 12 times. Well, that's actually over 500% in a day, right? But I know, realistically, that's probably not going to happen. But that's what we can, strive for. But we'll see what happens in reality once we push this live. Okay, so we don't want to leave it at 2 weeks, and I know that a lot of back tests, they just do it manually. Getting the 2-hour to work, or the 6-hour to work, anything less than a day to work, the percentage ROI is probably like a lot lower, like maybe 3%, 5%, whatever it is. Okay, now I would recommend that after you get the settings done, it is gonna hog up the memory, and it's gonna slow. You'll start to notice on the right side, the little windows pop in and out and start to slow down more and more. So what I would do is write it down somewhere, or copy and paste it, or just save it, restart the Mad Hatter bot again, and then run it fresh, and then do the 2-week range, and it will probably last longer and not crash on you, and actually finish a back test. Okay. Alright, so no improvement right now. It's already down to 13, and there's no improvement. And I think right now it has finished. So the best number is 2854. So it should run one more time. If it doesn't, I will need to fix that. And 2854. So here's the settings here. It looks like it's not running in one more, so let's make sure that everything matches up. 952.022 22 comma 22 0, and then and now we need to change all these numbers. So 2854. Okay. Let me run one more back test just to make sure that this is maybe 28145. Okay, let me screenshot this real quick so I can get the settings. So I'll make sure I tweak this part on the next release. I'll be able to push releases out automatically in the future, but as of right now, you're gonna have to reinstall the next one once that is released, because I don't have that part installed yet. And I'll just gather a list of things to test. Looks like he's getting I think I need to go to bed soon. Alright, so this should be WMA 28, I believe. So let's go ahead and try that. If it's wrong, I'm gonna reset this. 09522. And 14 2080 1269. 12 2069. Okay, let's run this one. And I need to make this let's go back real quick. I need to make this weighted moving average. Maybe. I think I'm wrong on this one. I think I need to revert back to the old camo, cause that was brought from the previous run. So yeah, let me bring it back to camo real quick. I think that should be it then. Is that right? No, it's not. Okay. Alright, let me just restore it. I guess what it is correct. You don't need to change anything. 19.8. Oh wait, I'm on mama, comma. Twenty-four, 1, 2. No, that, yeah, okay. 950 20 18.8 220 2. Okay, everything's good. We back test this, restore it back to where it was before. $24. Alright, so I'm not sure how I got to 28. I'm gonna have to look back at it and see how I can recover that on the next run, but you know, still good enough. Alright, so once we get to the best that we have for this, then what we want to do next is run the next one, which is then pushing it down from 2 weeks to 1 week. So we're gonna go ahead. So I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of save this real quick, and just kind of go back, so I know that it is saved, and it doesn't hold the bag. It sold it on the 16th, so it's pretty. Every 3 to 4 days it'll sell, buy and sell 3 days here. So it's good. It doesn't hold the bag for very long. Alright, so I'm going to save that. I'm going to go ahead and close this out. I'm going to rerun it. Just to clear my memory out. Of course, I have to go back in again. Now, I need to put this because I know we have different sockets or whatever the port numbers. Maximize this. Pre-fill everything again. Auto fix perturb. Appeared in settings. Let's go back to that Mad Hatter with a fresh, clean memory. And I was working on GBT. But on a different coin. GBT. No, that's right. Alright, so that's good. Now you can start from here, okay? So appeared in settings, just click on start, and it should be off to the races. So it's going to go back to 2 weeks, run it again. Of course, I think forward in time it changes, so, you know. And then it's going to tweak it again one more time, so we're going to have to repeat the process. So even though we lost that 28, whatever, it's going to do it again, find the 28, and then push it down to 1 week. Okay. So in the meantime, once it finds the best solution, then it's going to switch this here to 1 week, and then rerun the settings all over again. Once it's done with that, then it's going to go 5 days, rerun it, 2 days, rerun it, 1 day, rerun it. So eventually it's gonna get to a point where it goes through and there's just nothing right here, and then 2 hours could be like, I don't know, something in the negatives probably, or you might get a positive, really small positive number. So I don't think I have anything. It should be saving all the results on the side. If it doesn't, then it's kind of pointless. Oops, you don't want that. I don't want that. That actually changed things. So it should be recording the results. If not, I'll need to get that fixed. Then in that case, you know, it doesn't make sense to run this if you're not able to see any results. Okay. All right, so that's basically it. That's all I have. So if you actually have a nice computer memory, whatever, and you can actually run it through, then you can actually just select this whole thing. And what we just did one by one was actually this MA settings and period. So you could just do the whole thing with just that. Okay. If you just wanted to do just the moving average and then the settings only, that's kind of the first two. That is this one here, and that's it. Yeah, and then the full is I wouldn't run this right now. Okay. All right, so that's not what I want. Hopefully, it doesn't change anything. Okay, cool. Shouldn't be changing anything. All right, so we're at no improvement number 7. Let's just kind of watch it and see how it goes for now. I may just it's gonna watch it switch over to week, and then just let it run. This is probably the one that's gonna take the longest. Might take a few hours. This is where I'll walk away and do something else. And that's why we have a bot to kind of do this for us. So if that has no improvement, we'll just keep going at it. Okay. All right. I guess another thing I could talk about is this. We have a spreadsheet for our entire team, and we're gonna be sharing our settings here. I think I'll just go ahead and end this video now, and I'll do another video on showing how we can work on this. We're each gonna kind of plan together and do a pair, and then document it, and then we could just update it, and then we should just update our settings much quicker that way. Okay. All right, that's pretty much it. It's like, I don't know, it's only 1:20 in the morning, but I gotta wake up early tomorrow. So hopefully that's helped. I'm gonna probably take a break from all this next week. We're just gonna run a lot of tests and put some live trades and see how it goes, and go from there. So if you guys want, if you guys aren't part of the pack wolf pack group yet, and you want to get your hands on this tool, go ahead and click on the link below. You're gonna have to go through the arbitrage of our basic wolf pack and then upgrade to the advanced to get to it. As long as you're a member, you can use it for the life of it, and just don't share with others other than with the wolf pack group. Okay. All right. Thank you, and you guys have a good one.